Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today we're going to be talking about paid ads. And yes, that is Mark Zuckerberg's face that you're seeing, because a lot of you guys that pay for paid ads, you can be paying, anything from $500 to $10,000 a month. Whenever you stop paying for paid ads, your sales go down. So basically, you know, your business's sales are depending on Mr. Zuckerberg right here. And today I want to present to you another strategy that has nothing to do with paid ads, that is purely organic, and that basically drives traffic to your website, and that is SEO, right guys? So over here on the left side, we see that you can have a budget of around 500 bucks. You do get a couple of people, and then, if you increase your budget to around 5,000, you do get more, but you're still paying, this $5,000, which you can be using for something a little bit much more. You can be saving your money. Let's just put it like that. With SEO, you can be creating different types of blog posts, different types of subjects, using different types of keywords that eventually, after some time, you're going to start getting some users, and then eventually it's going to start growing exponentially, gradually, until you get a large amount of traffic on your website on a daily basis, right? Now, people search for these articles. They don't search for these articles directly. They search for different keywords, right? Different keywords in different platforms, like in Google right now, and also in today's world, we have like ChatGPT, we have Claude as well, and basically all of these different things are trying to satisfy the user's search intent, right? So the user is looking for something. Let's say that you are, for example, a plumber, right? The user is searching, they have a specific problem. Let's say that they have a leak going on in one of their faucets in the kitchen. Let's just pretend that this is a faucet, right? And they're searching for things like, what is the problem here, right? Or how much would it cost to fix this problem, right? Or where can I buy a new, specific part to this faucet? Also with ChatGPT, from personal experience, I also tend to take pictures of stuff and ask it like that. And then basically, it kind of analyzes my search intent, and it provides better keywords for me. And when your website, if you're a plumber, for example, and you can create all of these different texts and create some type of content hub or informational hub in your website that just basically grabs all of these readers and provides them with these answers, that's going to generate a bunch of traffic. It's going to give these guys a good signal for your business, basically saying like, hey, this specific plumber, we trust him, let's send users this way. And obviously, SEO is not just that. SEO is a big art form, right? We have three main pillars, right? So we have the first one, which is on-site SEO. We have off-site SEO, and we also have technical SEO, right? So for example, the on-site SEO is all of this stuff that you see here, which is going to basically go on in your website, right? All of these different pages that you're going to see in, for example, like a blog post, right? You have a blog post of all of these different questions that you're answering. We have off-site SEO, which is basically backlinks, right? So let's say that there is a big plumber website, and it has around, let's say, 500,000 visitors a month, and it writes a specific article, right? And inside of this article, there is one link that links to your website, right? This also plays a massive role in increasing your site's trustworthiness for these search tools. If you want to learn a little bit more about backlinks and how to, start getting more and more backlinks from these valuable websites, I have a video about that. You can check the link in the description below, or you can check out my channel. And the final thing over here is basically the technical SEO, which is basically, like stuff like meta descriptions. We have also stuff like performance, right? How fast your website is. Some websites can be pretty informative, but their performance is very bad. They probably have a lot of animations, and it takes a long time for the website to load, which leads to a lot of people leaving. And stuff like site indexing. So yeah, this is pretty much it in a nutshell, right? This is kind of like the SEO. You have these different platforms like Google, ChatGPT, Claude, Bing, and whatnot, and then you have these different questions that you're answering in different blog post forms, right? You're selling to these people like this guy over here, right? That he has a specific problem. It can be someone in a company that has a bunch of faucets. It can be a private home owner that has one faucet. It can be a homeowner that has different types of Airbnbs that have different types of faucets in throughout the city or throughout the state. So yeah, I would say that the first main thing here to solve or to kind of have in mind is to identify your client profile, who that person is, what they're dealing with on a daily basis, what their main problems would be. And also another additional point to add here is identify your client profile plus competitors, right? This is a great way to kind of analyze to see what type of content they're making and what types of keywords are they using, right? We can go on Google Maps, for example, and click on one of the first ones that we find. For example, this one, Roto-Rooter, and we can go through their page. And what we can do is we can copy this and bring this into Ahrefs. So we just go over here and we can see kind of how many people are viewing this. We can see their keywords that they're ranking for. So for example, 24/7 plumber near me, 24/7 plumber, emergency plumber, drain cleaning, plumbing services. So all of these different keywords you can kind of use for your own site. And after the competitors, I mean, it's also important to understand what do you sell? Like, what are your exact services? Do you have a specific amount of services, like 1, 2, or 3, or do you have 10? That's also very important to kind of, filter and kind of have a defined number of services that you have and communicate that very clearly. Because for each one of these blog posts that we have right here, we would want to have a call to action at the end of each. That basically brings the users to not only visit your main website, but to actually visit the call button or the book button, right? So step 1, identify your client profile, identify your competitors, and what do you sell. Now step 2 is to list the keywords, right? We were just looking at that in Ahrefs. So, what you could do is you could look for, your main competitors and kind of create a list of different keywords. You can make this one like the first one, this one the second one, this one the third one, this one the fourth one, and etc. You create a list of several keywords that you would want to use. And basically what's also very important to understand is that there's like some type of axis, that the y-axis is this high intent keywords, and this x-axis is the traffic, right? The traffic that is being generated by these different keywords, right? You might be asking, like, what are high intent keywords? So basically, high intent keywords are those keywords that that make it more possible for your user or your potential client to actually book something or buy something from you. So again, going into this plumbing industry, a high intent keyword would be how much is this gonna cost? Who is the best that does this? Where can I find someone to do this, right? And then there's like the low intent keywords would be how to do this, right? Because if you describe how to do it, the people are gonna read this and they're gonna eventually try to do it themselves and not actually book you. So basically creating a list of these keywords and placing them throughout this axis and seeing which ones land over here in this low intent, low traffic area, low intent, high traffic area, high intent, high traffic, which is obviously the one that you would want, right? And high intent, low traffic, which is also something that you would want just to, start eventually creating some high intent, because maybe these have low traffic, but the people that actually visit them convert more, right? So these down here, you don't want them, but these up here you do. And yeah, a good way to analyze the traffic, right? We know the high intent, we kind of understand the basics of that. But in order to view this traffic sense, we'd have to go to Ahrefs and kind of see, okay, we have this 24/7 plumber that gets a volume of around this per month. This one, Roto-Rooter, gets 7K. It's kind of a low traffic one. This one, 43, is plumbing company, 24-hour plumber, emergency plumbing, right? So you have different types of numbers. Plumber near me gets, is a pretty, uh, seems to be the largest one. Plumber also. So yeah, you just basically have to get this list and kind of divide it into this axis. Now, number 3 is basically producing content, right? So producing content that would, based off of these keywords, that would eventually generate traffic for your page. So you can generate, for example, blog posts, or you can generate like featured posts. So blog posts would go directly inside of your website. Featured posts, you could, for example, find someone online that posts about plumbing, and you can ask them to write something about your business there. But in this case, let's focus on this blog post one that's going to go directly inside of our website. And in order to generate a good blog post, we have to have a good blog content structure. And I have another video where I went a little bit in depth in that. So you can go ahead and check that out. But basically what we need to have is a call to action at the very top, right? We need to have a title with the person who actually built or who actually wrote that title. It would be nice to have like the amount of time to read this specific post, a nice cover image that represents this post with a meta description, right? A little bit of technical SEO here. Then it would be nice, obviously, to have something like a side panel where we have a call to action. Let's say that you want to grab some leads, some type of free service that you want to provide, or a free guide, right? Some type of CTA that people can add over here. And then we have the content, right? We have title page, title blocks of text. Then we have description text, and basically inside of these description texts, we would have different links, whether it be internal or external, right? So for example, these internal links would go here, and then this one would be like an external link going to like another website that talks a little bit more in depth about this specific topic over here. And eventually we have different types of chapters with more text and more text. We have different bullet points with different links and so on. We can also include different images inside of our blog posts, right? And obviously we can add different types of YouTube videos that also is great to have as well. But yeah, there's a whole, anatomy of creating a good blog post. Again, I have a video on this. You can check that out as well. But it is important to kind of keep this in mind. And it might sound very overwhelming, but there is a way to do this all with AI. And you can start with 3 generations for free, which is great. And so you can build this entirely with AI, and you can integrate this into your website very seamlessly. And it's using this tool called Arvow. And basically this is their website AI SEO writer that auto publishes to your blog. So that's actually a terrific header text that also kind of benefits your website a lot when it comes to generating leads, to have a very clear definition of what you do. But yeah, basically what Arvow does is that you can sign up, get 3 free articles, and you can create all of this, what I was just showing you over here, right? Which was this whole structure, right? From top to bottom, all with AI. So basically what we can do is we can do some type of little demo for you. Yeah, and once we're in Arvow, what we can do is we can start off with an SEO article, which is what we're gonna do, right? Different SEO articles. Let's go back here. So these are basically SEO articles. It's like different blog posts that you can add that basically have the goal of increasing your whole site traffic. But we also have AI news articles that you can generate articles about real world news. You can generate articles about products. Maybe you have some type of Amazon product, or you can do something like YouTube to blog post. In this case, let's just do this. And let's get some type of keyword. I was looking at this one, septic tank service. We have emergency plumbers, plumbing apprenticeship, septic tank plumbing services. Let's just use that and go back to Arvow. Let's set this, add keywords, and then over here, these are like just basically other ones that I've generated in the past, but we can go here to this pen tool and we can create a title based on this focus keyword. So septic tank pumping, what you need to know. We can also edit this to see how much we can replace it, like how much does it cost? And we can generate keywords based off of this. So septic system maintenance, cost of septic tank services. So that's great. So this is basically like a high intent title based on this keyword. We can save these changes, and this is just the start of it, right? This is just the main details. We can go to the outline, generate a specific outline based on that title, and you can see how quick it is. I'm not pausing anything. You see understanding septic tank pumping services, factors influencing the cost, size of the septic tank, location, accessibility, frequency of pumping, average cost, additional cost, inspection fees. So it's creating a nice article. You can, obviously delete some of these. So we can delete, for example, location and accessibility, for example. We have tips for reducing septic tank pumping costs. We can delete that as well, but let's just keep all of this. And then we have the content. We have the target country, United States, language, English. We have the tone of voice. We can make it, funny, informal, sarcastic, academic. We can make it, let's just make it funny, for example. Point of view, let's make it first person. Formality, informal. We can click on the save changes. And then here's the knowledge base, which we can basically connect to a specific knowledge base so that it understands like specific topics or websites. So you can add, for example, your website and it understands everything about your website. Or we can just connect it to the web. So it'll search on Google for similar topics to generate up-to-date content. So to generate basically external links inside of the content. So let's just keep that. For formatting, let's just leave everything as it is over here. Structure, we can add a specific call to action. So these guys, for example, have this download button, and what we can do is we can open this in a new tab and we can set this as the call to action. So let's go over here and press paste over here. We can leave this as it is. Internal linking, we can add our own sitemap, for example. So if we were to get this and go back to Arvow and put sitemap.xml, it'll basically understand the sitemap of the entire website and include different internal links based on that. So links will be balanced between internal links and external links. So links per every H2, we want to have 6. So it's full of these different types of links. Let's click on save. For the external linking, we can add our own links, or the AI can automatically add their own links. If we have specific websites or specific websites that we want to exclude, like our competitors, we can add that down here. Images, for example, we have featured image. We can generate images with AI, which is pretty impressive. I'm going to show you in right now. And videos, the AI can basically search for specific YouTube videos that have to do with the topics in your blog post, right? So let's click on save changes. And what we're going to do is we're going to generate the article down here. And once it basically finishes generating, we can go ahead and click on this and open it up, and we see septic tank pumping. How much does it cost? Key takeaways: the average cost of the septic tank pumping is around $400, right? We see different types of internal links and external links here and there. And basically this is how it looks like once you're finished generating. We can go ahead and select this, for example, add some external links here and there. In this first paragraph, which is basically an introduction text, it gives us some links that we can select. And for example, it adds now 4 different external links. We can go ahead and get something like this. And for example, we want to change this. We want to rewrite this, make this a little bit shorter. We can do that as well. And the AI does it. Maintaining it prevents surprises. Awesome. And we can also, manually write things. That means no regular. I'm just kidding. So I just want to show you that we can also manually write stuff over here. Also, the images are all AI generated, which is pretty impressive. And we can, edit the alt text. We can regenerate these images if we wanted to. We can go ahead over here and click on this and add an extra prompt. For example, like add a dog to the image, or just let's just put add a dog, right? We can click on add a dog, for example, and it generates this new AI image of this septic tank with a dog there. And we can click on accept and replace it. Pretty cool. And yeah, it basically generates different tables of costs. So it's this high intent keyword. It creates a massive blog article about that, also with different YouTube videos. So it creates like the ultimate, you know, informational hub for your brand based on the services that you provide. And again, if you be more specific and you give it your website as a knowledge hub, if you give it your sitemap and all of that, if you give it your call to action, it's going to generate the best blog post for you. Yeah, and once you're done, you can publish this article to your website, whether you have WordPress, Webflow, Shopify, and all these other types of no-code tools as well. You can upload them over there. And yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. We pretty much went through a lot, but I kind of showed you how, you should start using SEO as instead of paid ads. As the goal with SEO is just to create an informational hub, start, generating organic traffic to your page. And the main thing is to be free, right? To not be dependent on Mark Zuckerberg and to have to pay him each month. And if you stop paying him, then you stop getting sales, right? So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch some more of this type of content, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll be more than happy to, to create more content about this. And yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.